good morning, student.
Good morning, ma'am.
So only one student is there, Shreya. Other are not
Good
there.
morning, ma'am.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning. So 2 student, 3 student. So remaining just joined and left the class. Yes.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning,
Good
ma'am.
morning.
Good morning.
Morning, ma'am.
Yes. Good morning. So now today we'll study the blood supply of heart. Okay. Is the PowerPoint visible, students?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. The arterial supply of the heart is by the coronary arteries. Okay. These arteries, coronary arteries. Right coronary arteries. There are 2 coronary arteries. Right and left coronary arteries. Okay. Right arteries. Okay, and this coronary artery also, see, the heart supplies the blood to our body. Yes, so this coronary artery which supplies the blood to the heart, so it is also known as vasa vasorum. It is the vasa vasorum of the ascending aorta. Okay, and there is a very important concept that you should always remember, that the coronary artery, anatomy, the coronary artery are not end arteries, but functionally they are end arteries. They behave like end arteries, these coronary arteries. Okay, right and left coronary artery functionally means they are physiologically end arteries, whereas anatomically they are not end arteries. Clear? So what are the arterial supply of the heart? Heart are supplied by what arteries?
Coronary arteries.
Anjali Adhikari. Okay, Anjali Adhikari, what are the arteries which supplies the heart? What are the name of the arteries which supplies our heart? Yes?
Right and left coronary artery.
Okay. Apeksha Bhattrai. These coronary artery are also known as, what are the peculiarities of the coronary arteries?
They supply blood to heart, so they are the vasa vasorum of ascending aorta.
And
They are functionally not an artery, but physiologically they are end arteries.
functionally means physiologically. Okay, functionally means physiologically. So functionally or physiologically they are end arteries, but anatomically they are not end arteries. So these are the peculiarities of the coronary arteries. Clear, all of you? Yes? Shall I proceed? No?
Yes,
Then I will
ma'am.
do it.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, first we will begin by right coronary artery. Here you can see this is the right coronary artery. This is the right coronary artery. Right coronary artery arises from the right aortic sinus or the anterior aortic sinus. My dear student, in the beginning of the ascending aorta, there are 3 aortic sinus. Okay, like this. There are 3 dilatation of the beginning of the ascending aorta. This is the ascending aorta here, my dear student. And this ascending aorta has 3 dilatation. This is anterior aortic sinus. It is present anteriorly, so anterior aortic sinus. This is left posterior, and similarly this is right posterior. Okay, so this anterior aortic sinus give origin to the which coronary artery? Right coronary artery. So the origin of the right coronary artery is from the anterior aortic sinus. This anterior aortic sinus is also known as right aortic sinus. That is the origin. This is the origin of the right coronary artery. Now course, you see in this picture, it is very easy to remember. There is no need to mug up here. And you have Nature Atlas also. See the Nature Atlas. Try to imagine, visualize in your body. It will be very easy to remember anatomy. Now here you can see this right coronary artery, after its origin from the right aortic synod, it courses towards the right side. This is which side of our heart? Right side. Courses towards the right side, and forward means anteriorly between. This is the right auricle. This is the right auricle, and which trunk, my dear student? Pulmonary trunk. Then it is going downward. You can see it is going downward. My dear student, it is going downward. In which part of the sulcus? You have studied in the external features of the heart that there is a sulcus or a groove between the atrium. This is the atrium, okay, and this is the ventricle. The groove between the atrium and ventricle, this groove here, this is known as atrioventricular groove. Which groove? Atrioventricular groove, also known as coronary. And this is which part of atrioventricular groove? It is in the right side. It is in the right placed, right as well as anterior. So here you can see this right coronary artery descend downward in the right anterior part of coronary sulcus, or you can say descend downward in the right anterior part of atrioventricular groove up to the junction of, this is which border of the heart? You have studied the external feature. This border of the heart is known as right border. Which right border? And this is which border of our heart? This is the which border of our heart? Inferior border. So inferior border. Now here you can see it runs downward in the right anterior part of the atrioventricular groove or the coronary sulcus. Here you can see it runs downward in the right anterior part of atrioventricular groove or coronary sulcus, junction of right border and inferior border. Now here you can see it winds round the which border of the heart? Here you can see it winds round the inferior border of the heart. Inferior border of the heart. Then here you can see, first I'll use the eraser.
Ma'am?
Yes, please.
Ma'am, can you please use some other color? The red gets camouflaged here.
Okay, red is more prominent, that's why I'm using. I'll use yellow color then, okay? Other
Yes,
color will not be suitable, either yellow or red, because other color is not visible. We'll find difficulty. So wait for a minute. This will get confusion, so I have to erase this so that you can I can. Now, my dear student, now here you can see, after winding around the inferior border of the heart, here you can see it winds out the inferior border of the heart. Then it runs in the which part of the coronary sulcus? Which part of the coronary sulcus? It passes upward and towards the which side? This is which side of the heart? This is the left side of the heart. Okay, it is better I'll use black color. Let's see. Okay, left side of the heart. Okay. So it runs upwards towards the left side. In which part of the coronary sulcus? Here you can see posterior part of the coronary sulcus or posterior part of the atrioventricular groove. And at the crux of the heart, here at the crux of the heart, this is the crux of the heart. At the crux of the heart, it anastomoses with the branch from which artery? This artery. What is this artery? Circumflex artery. Circumflex artery. So this is the short course of the which artery? Right coronary artery. Very easy. Try to visualize in yourself in your body with the help of the diagram books that you have. Okay. Now then the branches. The branches are very easy here. The branches of the right coronary artery, the first and foremost branch is right conus artery. My dear student, you have studied in external feature of the heart that the beginning of the pulmonary trunk or the outflow tract of the right ventricle is also known as conus. And the part, this artery here, you can see this artery which supplies the anterior surface of the pulmonary conus, or the beginning of the pulmonary artery, or you can say infundibulum of the right ventricle. This artery is known as right conus artery. Which artery? Right conus artery, which supplies the anterior surface of here, anterior surface of the pulmonary conus or the infundibulum, which is also known as infundibulum of the right ventricle. And some of the small branches also supplies, here you can see, supplies the upper part of the anterior wall of the right. Which ventricle is this? You all know this is which ventricle? Right ventricle. And sometimes what happens, this is very important in the MCQ point of view, Viva point of view. So if the conus artery, this right conus artery, sometimes what happens, instead of arising from the right coronary artery, it sometimes directly arises from this anterior aortic sinus, this sinus. Which sinus, my dear student? Anterior aortic sinus. Okay, in that case, this artery is also regarded as a third coronary artery. Which coronary artery? Third coronary artery. Otherwise, in our body, normally there are two coronary arteries, right and left coronary arteries. Sometimes this artery, right conus artery, sometimes directly arises from the anterior aortic sinus. In that case, we say this as a third coronary artery. This is the exception, okay, in the minority of the cases. Now, another branches are, my dear student, there are small branches here you can see, which is supplying the atrium. Okay, so those branches are known as right atrial rami. Rami means plural, ramus means singular, and they supply the anterior surface. This is anterior surface, this is lateral surface, and the posterior surface of the right atrium. In addition to it, one of the branch of the atrial rami, which also supplies the SA node here. This SA node, and the branch, the atrial rami which supply the SA node is known as SA nodal artery. Which artery, my dear student? SA nodal artery. SA nodal artery. Okay. Okay. In the 65% of the cases. However, in the minority of the cases, that is 35% of cases individual, this SA nodal artery arises from the left coronary artery. This is the left coronary artery. Okay. Okay, and in addition to it, there are small branches which is supplying the ventricles. What are these branches that I have labeled it, my dear student? What are these branches? You know this, I have labeled it here. These are the right anterior or anterior ventricular rami, which supplies the anterior surface of which ventricle? Right ventricle. Okay, clear. So what are the branches? Let us enumerate. Number 1, right conus artery. Number 2, right atrial rami. One of the atrial rami is also supply the SA node, so it is known as SA nodal artery. The third one is anterior ventricular rami. The fourth one is from the anterior ventricular rami. One of the branch, here you can see, I have labeled it. One of the branch run along the inferior border of the heart. Run along the inferior border of the heart up to the apex. This branch is known as right marginal artery. Right marginal artery. Okay, and in addition to it, this right coronary artery also provide branch to the posterior aspect of the ventricle. Posterior aspect of the ventricle. Okay, here you can see these small branches that I have labeled it. These branches are known as right posterior ventricular rami, which supplies the, which surface of the heart is this, my dear student? You have studied. This is the diaphragmatic surface of heart. Diaphragmatic surface of heart. In addition to it, the terminal branch. The terminal branch is here. You can see this is the terminal branch. The terminal branch here you can see this is the posterior interventricular artery. Posterior interventricular artery. This posterior interventricular artery supplies this posterior interventricular artery runs in the posterior interventricular groove. Which groove is this, my dear student? This is very important for spotter. That's why I have mentioned it. It lies in the posterior interventricular groove. Number 1, location. Number 2, what does it supply? It supplies the posterior part, posterior 1/3 part of interventricular septum. And in the 60% of the cases, this posterior interventricular artery provide a small branch to the AV node, atrioventricular road. In addition to it, small branches here you can see this also supplies the right and left ventricle. Majority of the right ventricle and a small part of the left ventricle. Beside this, See, there are small the branches from the arterial rami to the posterior aspect. These are known as the right posterior arterial rami. So what are the branches of the right coronary artery? These are very important. Janvi Bansal, enumerate the branches of the right coronary artery that supplies our heart. Okay, she will not get attendance. Dharmaram Chaudhary, enumerate the branches of the right coronary artery that supplies our heart. Okay, Dharmaram Chaudhary also will not get attendance. Okay, he is there. That means he will get answer the question. Enumerate the branches of right coronary arteries. What are the branches of right coronary arteries?
Right posterior interval.
Yes. What are the branches of right coronary artery? Okay, you are not listening properly, Dharmaram. That is the why you are unable to answer the question. This is not the way you should be there in the class. Did I say to mute your mic, Dharmaram? This is how you behave with the teacher? What you people think that we are doing online classes and then you can do whatever you want?
Sorry, ma'am.
You should maintain the decorum if you want to become a good human being, first of all. Okay, now Saskriti Dev, enumerate the branches of the right coronary artery.
Ma'am, they are right.
Mute your mic, Dharmaram. Yes.
Ma'am, there is right conus artery which supplies to the anterior surface of the pulmonary conus and the upper part of the anterior wall of the right ventricle.
Okay,
and
then?
If the conus artery arises independently, then it is also called as third coronary artery.
Okay, you just enumerate. I know you know this. By your answer, I am able to identify that you know the answer. But just enumerate the name of the branches.
Right atrial rami, anterior
Very good.
ventricular rami.
Very good.
Right marginal artery, posterior ventricular rami, and posterior
Okay, posterior arterial rami. Okay, posterior interventricular artery. Okay, we from where the branch to SA node and AV node comes, Sanskriti?
SA node, and it comes from right atrial rami.
Very good. For the SA node, for AV node?
For AV node, it comes from posterior interventricular artery.
Okay, I believe. Thank you, Sanskriti. You can mute your mic. Now, I believe all of you have understood the origin and the course and the branches of right coronary artery. Is there any question? Shall I proceed? Confident, everybody?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
One student is confident. So I should wait.
Yes, ma'am. All are complete.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Shall I proceed? All of you?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Monish, you have to answer for yourself. You have no authority to answer for others. Okay, now areas of distribution. This is very important question for the SAQ as well as MCQ. The areas identify the suppose identify the marked artery like this. We may ask in the university semester exam. That is the right coronary artery. Mention its area of distribution. That means which part of the heart are supplied by the branches of right coronary artery. You just have to enumerate the parts. So the right coronary artery supplies the whole of the right atrium, most of the right ventricle except the stripe along anterior interventricular groove. Here you can see this is the stripe along anterior interventricular groove. Here this part is not supplied by the right coronary artery, rather it is supplied by the branch from left coronary artery. So most of the part of the right ventricle except the stripe along the anterior interventricular groove, then posterior inferior 1/3 part of the interventricular septum via interventricular artery. You know it is the continuation of, you see the posterior interventricular artery is the continuation of terminal branch of right coronary artery. So via this branch It supplies the posterior inferior 1/3 part of IV septum. IV means interventricular septum. And in the 65% majority of the cases, SA nodal artery arises from the right atrial rami, okay, anterior rami, and AV node arises from the posterior interventricular artery. So these are the areas of the heart which are supplied by the branches of which coronary artery? Right coronary artery. Okay. Now left coronary artery. Before beginning, then I will ask Rishabh Gupta, mention the area of distribution of right coronary artery.
An area of distribution of right coronary arteries are they supply to whole right artery.
Very good.
And most of the maximum part of the right ventricle, except a stripe along end IV groove.
Yeah. Yes.
And
anterior
also
posterior part of IV groove, Rishabh. Which part of IV groove? Anterior or posterior?
Anterior part.
Very good. Then go on.
Then SA node in 65% of the.
And which node?
AV node.
So that means conducting system of our heart in the majority of the cases are supplied by which artery?
Right coronary artery.
Okay, good, Rishabh. Now I think all of you have understood. Let us go into left coronary artery. Left coronary artery is another artery which supplies our heart. Now the origin, first of all, the left, as I have already drawn a diagram, the left coronary artery here arises from the sinus. What is the name of the sinus? This is the left posterior aortic sinus. Left posterior aortic sinus, and it is also known as left coronary sinus. So this is the origin of the left coronary artery. And left coronary artery is a very small trunk and it has a short course. It courses behind the pulmonary trunk. Here you can see this is which trunk? First you should know this is the pulmonary trunk. This is the ascending aorta, my dear student. Ascending aorta. Okay. So it runs behind the pulmonary trunk. In this picture you can see, and it runs behind. Then it runs forward towards the which side? Here you can see it runs forward towards the left side between the pulmonary trunk, and this is which auricle here? This is the caught part of the left auricle. Left auricle. And as soon as at the junction here, it divides into two branches. One branch goes anterior inferiorly, another branch goes posteriorly. The branch, what are the two terminal branch? The two terminal, one is anterior interventricular artery, anterior interventricular artery, and the another branch is circumflex artery. Circumflex artery. Okay, circumflex artery. Okay. Now, Sneha Raj Jha, what is the origin of the left coronary artery?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Left coronary artery arises
from left coronary artery arises from left posterior aortic sinus.
Very good, Sneha Raj. Now, Vipassana Kalita, describe the short course of the left coronary artery.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, describe the short course of the
courses-
left coronary artery. After its origin, what is the short course of left coronary artery?
The courses are behind the pulmonary trunk.
It passes
Forwards.
behind the pulmonary trunk, then it passes forward.
Then it
towards which side?
forwards
There?
and
Forward
left
towards very good. Between?
pulmonary trunk and left auricle.
Very good. Then what happens?
It divides into two branches.
Two terminal
Anterior-
branches. Yes. What are
Anterior,
they? Yes.
anterior interventricular artery and circumflex artery.
Very good. And okay. Thank you, Vipassana. Now I believe all of you have understood. I will go into the now. Here you can see here. This is the circumflex branch, to show you circumflex branch in this diagram. Now anterior interventricular artery is a small short course, very easy, no need to mug up. If you know this picture, you can visualize in your body, in your heart, in your body, and you can easily produce the sentence and gain good marks. Now here you can see it runs downward, it is going downward, so it's very easy. It runs downward in which group, my dear student? In which group? Anterior, very easy, anterior interventricular group. anterior interventricular groove up to the apex of the heart, up to the apex of the heart. This is the apex of, here you can see this is the apex of the heart, up to the apex of the heart. Then in the majority of the cases, most of the individual, what happens, it passes, here you can see, it winds round the apex of the heart and it anastomoses with the one of the branches of, here you can see, one of the branches of which artery? Posterior interventricular artery, terminal branches of the posterior interventricular artery. However, in 1/3 of the individual, means minority of the cases, it only reaches up to the apex of the heart. Okay. So this is the small course of the anterior interventricular artery. It is very, very easy. Yes. Now, Tawkirul Hasan describe the short course of interventricular artery. Okay, he didn't respond, so no attendance, no problem. That is their students' love. Joydeep, describe the short course of the anterior interventricular artery.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, it runs downward in the anterior interventricular groove to the apex of the
Yes.
heart.
Yes. Then what happens in the majority of the cases, in almost majority of the individuals population? It winds around the apex of the heart, goes posteriorly and anastomoses with the terminal branches of right posterior interventricular artery. Okay, Jaydeep?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, and in the minority of the cases, it only reaches up to the apex of the heart. Clear?
Okay, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Now, I believe all of you have understood the short course of the anterior interventricular artery. Yes or no? Is there any question? Anybody?
No.
Okay, now circumflex artery. Circumflex artery is very easy. You can easily see in the picture here, you can see it is of same size of the anterior interventricular artery. Then it winds around the, which border of the heart is this? You know this, you have studied the external feature of the heart, left border of the heart. Then here you can see in the picture, then it enters into the, it lies in the which part of the atrioventricular sulcus? Okay, let us ask Anmol Kumari. Anmol Kumari, by seeing the picture, can you say where does the circumflex artery lies posteriorly? Okay, she will not get attendance. Raj Kishan Kuswa, what is the location of the, what is the location of the circumflex artery? Can you see the picture? I have used the black arrow here with the 2 point. Okay, I will use again another arrow, see, 2 arrow. So on the basis of this picture, can you say the location of the circumflex artery in our heart posteriorly?
Atrioventricular groove.
Very good. Atrioventricular groove, also known as coronary sulcus. Now tell me which part of the atrioventricular groove or coronary sulcus?
Left margin, ma'am.
No. Left part. Left part. That is also correct. Now, please complete the answer. Niharika Lal, please complete the answer of Raj Kishan Kuswa.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. I didn't mention this. I just want to know how much my student used the common sense. So you answer, complete the answer, please. He said it lies in the posterior part of atrioventricular sulcus.
Yes.
Yes, or coronary sulcus. But on which side?
Left.
See the picture. Very good. So you should say left posterior part of atrioventricular sulcus or left posterior part of coronary sulcus. Is it clear, all of you? Clear?
Yes,
all of
ma'am.
you. Please respond. Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
So what is the short course of the circumflex artery? The short course is around the left, then it comes to lie in the left posterior part of the coronary sulcus and provide the branches. Now let us go to the branches of left coronary artery.
yes, ma'am.
Okay, Saurabh Karki, answer the question. Mention the branches of anterior interventricular artery. Just enumerate the name.
Ma'am, anterior ventricular artery branches into right and left rami.
Anterior ventricular rami. Anterior ventricular rami. You should say. Then anterior ventricular rami has right and left rami. Okay, continue.
Left rami has diagonal artery.
Yes, one of the left rami forms the diagonal artery. Like this, you should say.
Sometimes may also arise from circumflex artery.
Okay.
Right rami has left conus artery.
Very good. Okay, very good, Saurabh. Now we will go to the, you can mute him, Aryan Mishra. Mention the distribution of the anterior interventricular artery.
Ma'am, anterior part of interventricular septum.
Very good.
Greater part of left ventricle.
Very
and
good.
Part of right ventricle.
Very good.
And then part of bundle of His.
Which side? Left bundle or right bundle?
Left bundle.
Very good, very good. Now, Jyoti Meena, mention the location of anterior interventricular artery. Okay, so you will not get attendance, no problem.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Jyoti Meena, she responds, so you will get attendance. Mention the location of the anterior interventricular artery in our heart. Okay. Lateral. Okay, you haven't listened properly, no problem. Shruti Mahapatra, please help Jyoti Meena.
Yes,
What is the location of the anterior interventricular artery in our heart?
It is present in the anterior interventricular groove.
Very good. Okay, clear, Jyoti Meena?
Yes,
Meena
ma'am.
Jyoti? Yes. Okay, now I will proceed. That means I believe all of you have listened carefully, understood. Let us go to the branch of the circumflex artery, which is the branch of the left coronary artery. Now, circumflex artery lies in the left posterior part of, first it winds around the left border of the heart, then it lies in the left posterior part of the atrioventricular groove or the coronary sulcus. What are the branches? You can see beautifully. The circumflex artery gives the small branches to the left atrium. They are known as the atrial rami. Similarly, they give small branches to the left ventricle. They are known as the ventricular rami. Okay, and in the 35% of the cases, this one of the atrial rami will give branch to the SA node, that is known as SA nodal artery. Okay, and one of the branch circumflex artery will run along the left border and the margin of the heart, that is known as left marginal artery, that I have labeled it. See, this is the left marginal artery. And in addition to it, it also provides one very important branch, that is Kugel's artery, which anastomoses with a similar branch from the right coronary artery. Okay, so that is known as Kugel's artery. I cannot show you here. Okay, so these are the branches of the circumflex artery. Again, I repeat: atrial rami, ventricular rami, and in 35% of the cases, atrial rami, one of the atrial rami provide branch to the SA node, SA nodal artery, left marginal artery, and Kugel's artery. So these are the branches of which artery? Circumflex artery. Circumflex artery is the branch of which artery? Left coronary artery. Left coronary artery arises from left posterior aortic sinus of which aorta? Which aorta of our body? Ascending aorta. Ascending aorta. Clear? Now, Michelle P. Abraham, enumerate the branches of the circumflex artery, which is the branch of the left coronary artery. Okay. No response, no attendance. Very easy. Shreya here. In the branches of circumflex artery, which is the branch of left coronary artery. Okay, Shreya Hiratan also no response. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. So Shreya Hiratan has responded. Okay. Then?
SA nodal artery in 35% of individuals.
Very good. So that SA nodal artery you said in 35% comes from ventricular rami or atrial rami?
Ventricular rami.
No, atrial rami. Atrial rami. Remember this. Okay, then continue. Go on.
Left marginal artery.
Very good. Left marginal artery is one of the ventricular rami or atrial rami, Shreya?
Ventricular.
Very good. And one is very important artery which resemble like a necklace, which anastomoses with the similar branch from the right coronary artery. What is the name of the artery?
Kugel's artery.
Kugel's artery. Oh, means all of you know the branches of the left coronary artery. Now, area of distribution from these all branches here you can see the area of distribution of the left coronary artery are most of the left atrium and which ventricle? Left ventricle, except the stripe along posterior and inferior surface of heart. Which surface? Posterior and inferior surface of the heart, because here on the diaphragmatic surface this part of the heart is supplementary artery. So except the stripe along posterior and inferior surface of the heart. Okay, and it also supplies the, here you can see this anterior interventricular artery also supplies anterior superior 2/3 of IB septum. So these are the area of distribution of left coronary artery. Very, very important for IBA SAQ. Now Shivam Kesi, mention the area of distribution of left coronary artery.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, mention the area of distribution of left coronary artery.
It is most of the left atrium and left ventricle.
Very good. Yes.
And strip along posterior and inferior surface of heart.
Yes.
And anterior superior.
How many part? Yes, anterior superior part of?
2/3 intraventricular septum.
Yes, so posterior inferior 1/3 interventricular septum is supplied by?
It is supplied by left coronary artery.
Yes. Then?
And
left coronary artery. Very good. Very good, Shivam. Now, Dhirendra Chaudhary. Describe the branches of left coronary artery as a whole. Enumerate the branches of left coronary artery.
And left coronary artery is divided into circumflex artery and anterior interventricular artery. And interventricular artery divides into.
Don't say divides, gives branches into.
Branches are left and right rami.
Okay. Go on.
And similarly, circumflex artery gives branches of arterial and ventricular rami. Arterial rami also supplies the SH nodal artery, and ventricular rami runs through the left margin of the heart, giving left margin artery and Fugal's artery.
Okay. Aisma Baral. Aisma Baral.
Yes.
Is Dhirendra Chaudhary complete the answer? Did he complete the answer? Does the Dhirendra Chaudhary complete the answer? I think there is some part missing. Can you complete the answer? Circumflex artery he mentioned well. He mentioned little bit about anterior interventricular artery. Can you complete the answer about the branches of anterior interventricular artery, the branch of left coronary artery? Aisma Baral?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, go on.
Anterior part of interventricular artery.
Yes, anterior interventricular artery. What are the branches?
Right and left rami.
What rami? Kathmandu rami, Pokhara rami, Bhaktapur rami? What rami? Arterial rami, ventricular rami?
Ventricular rami.
Then go on.
And left conus.
Okay, left conus artery and diagonal artery. Diagonal artery. Diagonal artery arises from which aspect, right or left aspect of the ventricular rami? Okay. Okay, then we will go to, I think you know the right and left coronary artery, all of you. Now I will go into the coronary or cardiac dominance. Coronary or cardiac dominance. Now in the majority of us, or majority of the people, what happens? The right coronary dominance is there. What is the reason behind it? The posterior interventricular artery, here you can see the posterior interventricular artery in the majority of us arises as a continuation of the branch of the right coronary artery. So if the posterior interventricular artery arises from the right coronary artery, in that case it is said right coronary dominance, and it happens in majority of the individuals, majority of the people, whereas minority of the people, this posterior interventricular artery, this posterior interventricular artery arises as a continuation of the left coronary artery. And in those individuals, they are more prone to the coronary disease because the entire left ventricle and including entire interventricular septum both are supplied by the left coronary artery. So there is a high chance of the myocardial infarction in those individuals, or sort of the coronary disease, angina pectoris. So those individuals in which case they are left coronary dominance. That means the posterior interventricular artery arises from the left coronary artery. In those individuals, they are more prone to the coronary disease because the entire left ventricle and IV septum arises from the left coronary artery. This is the reason behind it. However, in some of the rare, in some of the individuals, the this posterior interventricular artery arises from both. It is provided by small branches provided by right and left coronary artery. So these individuals, in which case there is a balanced type of the cardiac dominance, in that case, in those individuals, they are least affected by the coronary disease. They are least affected by the coronary disease. This is very, very important applied aspect. This is very important. We may ask, describe the short notes on the cardiac dominance or coronary dominance. Okay. Now, Bravin Russell, A.V. Bravin Russell, describe the cardiac dominance. What is cardiac dominance? If you do not understand, tell the truth. I will again clarify. Tell the truth. Have you joined from the beginning or just now?
I joined from beginning, but I have a network issue.
So every time you have some problem, network issue, PowerPoint visible, this thing, no visible. Okay. Excuse is the source of failure. Curiosity is the source of success. Okay, Bravin. I believe next time you will improve your connectivity and your alertness in the class so that you can answer well and improve yourself throughout your life. Aparna Amod, describe the cardiac dominance.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, in majority of the cases, if the posterior interventricular artery arises from right coronary artery, it is called right coronary dominance. And
very good.
In minority of the cases, if the posterior interventricular artery arises from left coronary artery, then it is called left coronary dominance. And in case of left coronary dominance, the people are more prone to coronary disease because the entire left ventricle and interventricular septum arises from left coronary artery.
Yes, and there is a one rare case also in some of the individuals, 1-2%.
Yes, ma'am. In that rare case, the posterior interventricular artery arises from both right and left coronary arteries. In that case, the people are least affected by the coronary diseases.
And what is that dominance known as?
Ma'am,
balanced
type
coronary dominance or balanced cardiac dominance. Okay, thank you very much, Aparna. Let us go to the anastomosis. Now here comes the point. In the beginning of the class, I said the coronary arteries are not end arteries anatomically, but it is functionally. Functionally means physiologically they are end arteries. So this is related with its anastomosis, and this is very, very important concept. You should always remember. So I have mentioned it in a sentence. So when I give you PowerPoint, you can read it and get the concept. Now what happens, these coronary arteries, as you can see here, these coronary arteries and their branches, these coronary right and left coronary artery and their branches, what happens, the anastomosis of these branches of the coronary artery takes place at its terminal level, at its arterial level, to maintain the collateral circulations. And in this case, the time factor plays the pivotal role. How? If there is occlusion taking place very slowly, then what happens, this anastomosis which is taking place in the arterial level will open up and maintain the collateral circulation, so that this anastomosis become functional. In this case, these coronary arteries and their branches become functionally or physiologically in arteries. But if there is a sudden occlusion of the one of the largest branch of the coronary artery, sudden occlusion, okay, in that case the arterioles do not find time to maintain the collateral circulation, do not find time to open up and to maintain the collateral circulation, and in that case there will be sudden ischemia followed by the myocardial necrosis or myocardial infarction and sudden death of the individuals. So this is how the anastomosis of the coronary artery and the nature of the coronary artery is very, very important. Here the time factor for the occlusion play the pivotal role. Clear? This is very important concept to understand the applied importance. Now Nilisa Bhandari, can you elaborate on the anastomosis of the coronary artery to describe the basis for the feature or the function of the coronary artery?
Yes, ma'am.
And its applied aspect. Yes.
It anastomosis exists between the terminal branches of the coronary.
You cannot say if anastomosis, Nilisa. You should say in our heart, the coronary arteries branches, the anastomosis is at the terminal arteriole level. Anastomosis takes place at the terminal arteriole level. That is there in our body, in every one of us. But that is not functional. It becomes functional only in the applied cases. This is how you have to begin your answer. Again, you start, Nilisa.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
The coronary arteries anastomosis exists between the terminal branches of the coronary arteries at the arteriole.
Terminal branches means at which level there? Arteriole, artery. Arteriole, you should say. Yes, arteriole, yes. And go on.
The time factor in occlusion of an artery is very important.
Very good.
If occlusion occurs slowly, there is time for healthy arterioles to open up and collateral circulation is established.
Yes. The collateral circulation is already there in our heart, but it is not functional because already the branches are supplying. But if occlusion occurs slowly, it will open up. Yes, Nilisa?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, go on. Very good.
If occlusion of one of the large branches occurs, the
any branch, large branch, small branch occurs suddenly, sudden occlusion. Yes.
The arterioles do not get time to open up to provide collateral circulation, then there is the sudden ischemia and cardiac failure.
Yes, ischemia followed by necrosis, that is myocardial infarction with the failure of the heart and sudden death of the individual. Very good, Nilisa. All of you clear about the anastomosis and the peculiarities of the coronary artery? Can you say what is the peculiarities of the coronary artery in relation with the anastomosis? All of you? Russell Bravin, is it clear for you or is there any question?
It's clear, ma'am.
Yes. If you do not understand, please ask me. I'll feel very happy to answer everybody 1,000 times, and I feel very motivated if each one of you individual are listening to the class. Are you following? So yes, we will proceed forward. And the applied aspect of the arterial supply of the heart. First and foremost is the angina pectoris. Angina pectoris here in this case, there is an incomplete obstruction of any of the branches, small or large branches of the coronary arteries. Okay. And there will be extreme agonizing pain in the precaudal region. Here you can see this individual has agonizing pain in the, I'll use the laser pointer. Precaudal, the person or the patient with angina pectoris will feel the agonizing pain in the precordial, means in the chest wall, left part of the chest wall, and it may even radiate towards the medial side of the arm and forearm and hand in the left side. You can see in this picture medial side of arm, forearm, and left side of the hand. And sometimes it may also refer to the left side of the root of the neck and even to the jaw in the angina pectoris. Now in this case what happens if the coronary arteries, in this case here you can see in the pictures also, if the coronary arteries are obstructed, if the coronary arteries are narrowed by any kind of obstruction by the thrombus or embolus, or the any atherosclerotic plaque or narrowed, then what happens? There is a less blood supply to the myocardium. This result into the lack of the oxygen supply to the muscle of the heart. As a result, on exertion, when the person is doing something on exertion, the patient or the person will feel moderately severe pain in the precordial region. What sort of pain? The typical angina pectoris pain is what is it? Is the constricting or the gripping or constricting sort of retroesternal pain in the left part of the chest wall, and which may also continue towards, refer towards the medial side of arm, forearm and hand. Sometimes it may also refer towards the left side of neck. Okay, that sort of pain is there, and it is followed by the weakness and dizziness and perspiration. Okay, and this pain may sometimes even last for 20 minutes. But when the person relax or take rest, the pain is relieved. Okay, so in the angina pectoris, the pain occurs on exertion and relieves, disappears on relaxation. Okay, why? Because the coronary arteries are so narrowed that the ischemia of the myocardium takes place on exertion, so narrowed. When the person is doing any work on exertion, it is so narrowed that the blood supply to that part of the heart is very obstructed. Okay, so in that case it will yield into the sort of the gripping and the constricting retroesternal pain towards the left side, left chest wall. Okay, so this condition is known as angina pectoris. In the angina pectoris, it occurs on exertion, but it gets relieved on relaxation. This is the one. Okay, and another one is if there is continuous angina pectoris, or if there is sudden occlusion of the blood vessel. Here you can see sudden occlusion of the blood vessel, right and left coronary artery, or its small or large branches, sudden occlusion by the thrombus or embolus formation from the atherosclerotic plaque. You can see this atherosclerotic plaque yield into the formation of thrombus or embolus, which yield into the sudden occlusion of this vessel wall. Okay, lumen, sudden occlusion, and this may lead to the ischemia, which is followed by the myocardial necrosis, which is known as the myocardial infarction. And the part of the heart which suffers from the myocardial infarction stops working, and there it may also yield into the sudden death of the individual. And clinically it is known as heart attack or coronary attack. And what are the signs and symptoms of the myocardial infarction? In the person or the individuals with the myocardial infarction feel a sensation of the pressure, a big pressure in the left chest wall, a pressure or the sinking or the pain sensation on the left chest wall, followed by inner side of the arm, forearm, hand, and sometimes even on the left side of the neck and jaw. Okay, a severe agonizing pain which may last for 30 minutes. And the patient also vomit, have a nausea, vomiting, and there will be shortness of breath, tachycardia in that patient. Okay, and this myocardial infarction, myocardial attack takes place in relaxed condition, whereas angina pectoris takes place on exertion. You should know this, the difference. Okay, and then the part of the heart, the myocardium, there will be no blood supply, and there will be necrosis of the myocardium with the sudden collapse of the individual, sudden death of the individual. Okay, now how do we improve the myocardial infarction here? We can improve by two methods. The restoration of the arterial supply of the ischemic myocardium can be done by two methods. Okay, what are the two methods which establishes the circulation, blood supply to the myocardium? The two methods are percutaneous transluminal coronary angioplasty. What is the name? Percutaneous transluminal coronary angioplasty. Another one is coronary artery bypass graft. Coronary artery bypass graft. Okay, this is the thing you should know. Now, before going to the another slide, I will ask the question about angina pectoris and myocardial infarction to first Assi Chaurasia. Please say, describe the angina pectoris. Then I'll ask another person, and we'll continue the class in next class. Okay, she is not there. Saksham, try. Describe the angina pectoris.
Yes,
okay.
ma'am.
Okay. What is difference between angina pectoris and myocardial infarction?
Ma'am, in the angina pectoris, the incomplete obstruction.
Yes.
By the spasms of coronary arteries.
Yes.
It's occurring in the pain happens in the middle side of the left arm and the
left. First you say left chest wall, middle side of left arm, forearm and hand. That is the pain. What sort of pain? What are gripping and constricting retrosternal pain? Okay, the person feels dizziness, weakness, perspiration, and in the angina pectoris, it mainly the pain occurs on the exertion, and when the person relax, it get reliefs. But in the myocardial infarction, there is a sudden closure of the branches of the coronary arteries. Okay, sudden closure. Okay, and in the myocardial infarction, it is if there is sudden closure by thrombus or embolus or atherosclerotic plate formation in the vessel wall. What happens? What happens? There is a ischemia followed by necrosis. And in the myocardial infarction, what are the symptoms that I told you? One is agonizing pain, severe agonizing pressure like pains on the left chest wall, radiating to the left arm, left forearm, left hand on its medial side, and even to the neck. Then what is the another symptom? Nausea, vomiting, shortness of breath, tachycardia, perspiration, sweating. Yes. And in the myocardial infarction takes place on relaxation. When the person is relaxing also, there will be sudden occlusion of the arteries, whereas the angina pectoris only takes place when the person is in exertion, but it relaxes, it relieves when the person is relaxing. Okay, and in the myocardial infarction, how do we get relief? How do we treat? There are two methods to treat the arterial supply of the ischemic myocardium. How do we treat? One is percutaneous transluminal, okay, transluminal angioplasty. Another one is coronary artery bypass graft. So these are the point you should remember between myocardial infarction and angina pectoris. Now remaining applied impotence and venous drainage of the heart, I will do it in the next class. Clear, Saksham? All of you clear? Now
Yes,
before that, I will download the attendance. Okay. Is it clear, all of you? If you have any queries regarding the arterial supply of the heart and applied impotence, I've only dealt with the two applied. One is myocardial infarction and angina pectoris applied aspect plus venous drainage. I will do. Okay. If you have any queries, you ask in chat. Thank you very much. Stay safe. Please listen carefully in the class. Thank you very much. Stay safe. Bye bye.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.